That's right. You've read the title correctly. 28-year-old virgin flees date. Uber driver gives her much more than a ride. If you're interested in this title, then keep watching because we're gonna talk about it. Last year around this time, I made a video when I was 27 about my frustration with the manosphere and just how hypocritical they are. Just so many men nowadays expect sex after like just a few dates. So you don't have to go back and rewatch that if you didn't watch it already. I grew up just kind of like always being a hopeless romantic and just having so many crushes. Like I just had so many crushes, whether they were at school or they were at church. I did not discriminate based on race. I did not discriminate, okay? I liked guys of all races. I still do, but yeah, nobody was checking for me and nobody was interested in me. So, and I grew up in church. I've said it before about like my dad being a pastor, like he had his own church for a while and we were just always like members of a church, and that was just, my faith was just like my greatest identity, honestly, for like most of my life. And so, you know, ever since I was young, I always planned to wait until marriage. I always planned to wait to have sex until marriage. And, you know, when I started dating, I held on to that conviction. And I realized really, really quickly how unwanted and how undesirable that conviction instantly made me and makes me to most men. Most men that I meet, whether I'm just out and about or if I get on, you know, online dating and stuff like that, I've talked about it before. I don't have to go into, you know, everything about just, I've lost count of how many times I have been ghosted and dumped. And obviously people could say like, oh, well, you could have, maybe they didn't ghost you and dumped you just because, maybe they didn't just ghost you or dump you just because, you know, you told them you weren't gonna have sex with them. Like maybe it's your personality, or maybe they think you're oogle or something like that. Obviously those things are possible, but at least in several circumstances, I know for sure without a shadow of a doubt that I was ghosted and broken up with because I have always stood firm in my decision to wait until marriage to lose my virginity. But basically I kind of just want to like reflect on this year. So I'm 28 and 3/4 now. Yeah, because my birthday's in July, so I'm like, you know, close to 29, right? I don't know, I just want to like reflect on the year, like when it came to dating. I've been on dates with 4 guys since that video I made last year. So the first guy I had gone out with, I met him on Hinge. We went out over the summer. His communication was really lacking, and you know, it took me a while because I'm a little I'm not gonna say that I'm slow, like that's not so, I don't want to say that about myself, even though I know that people have said that about me. But sometimes, I don't know, it just takes me longer to like process things, and then also just sometimes I feel like maybe my lack of experience can sometimes make me a little I don't know, just like naive, I guess. And so I was like really confused about his lack of communication and stuff, because like he seemed like he really liked me and was like asking to see me again and when he could see me again. But then I didn't hear from him for a whole week, so it took me a while to be like, yeah, okay, he's, you know, probably talking to other women, and maybe he did like you. I'll never fully know, because he ended up calling me like the next week, like after like 7 full days, but I had blocked him by then. But yeah, so I mean, maybe he liked me, maybe he didn't, or maybe he liked me, but he liked other girls more, you know what I mean? So I went on that date with him, and I thought it was a fine date or whatever. I didn't feel like a crazy spark like I've experienced in the past, but it was okay. So that was that. And then in like November, I met this guy. No, in October, I met this man. But basically, he ended up being married. Like, he was still actively married. Like, on the date, he was just, I don't know, we were talking, and he was just like not like he told me that, and I was like, oh, okay, so you guys like gonna get divorced or something? He was like, it ain't over until God says it's over. And I was just, I mean, in my mind, I was like looking around. I was like, okay, well, praise God, like, amen. That is so true. That is so true. And it ain't over. It ain't over until God says it's over. Right. But it's giving you yeah, it's giving you want to get back with your wife. And I support that. Like, I support that. I support marriage, okay? I love marriage. But so it's giving like, why are you, oh my gosh, I couldn't find my fidget spinner. I can't find it anywhere. Hopefully it turns up. But so of course I need something to hold in my hand while I'm talking. And so I grabbed this, and this is really ironic because the married dad, he was a dad too. The married guy, he gave me this on our date, and I kept it because look how cute it is. It's so cute. You can put something aside. No, I haven't put anything aside yet, but anyways, that's interesting. But yeah, anyways, it's giving you still want to be with your wife. So it's like, why are you dating anyways? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you dating? It'd be one thing if you were divorced, but like, so I stopped talking to him. I went out with this guy a few months ago. He was really nice. He had been in a relationship for like 7 years or something, like really long, and they were engaged and everything. And I don't know, he was really nice, but I don't know, I kind of it felt challenging to like, I don't carry on a conversation with him sometimes. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I just knew like that wasn't gonna work. And then I'll hold off on the last date because that's the story that is the title of this video. So, reflections on life. Okay, yeah, so yeah, kind of like I was saying earlier, when I was younger, I've always planned to wait until marriage. And, you know, I feel like in the video I made when I was 27, which I'll link in the description box below if anyone's interested, I had said that I plan to wait until I meet someone who really, really loves me. Like, I think I was saying, like, I want to wait to give my virginity to a man who would die for me, who would take a bullet for me. And even though I do want that, like, I just gonna be completely 100% like transparent and honest. Like, I plan to wait until marriage, not a day before. Not a day before and not a day after, okay? Because I've waited so long. Like, honeymoon or not honey, do you go on your honeymoon the same night of your wedding? I don't know. I don't know. The wedding night. So not a day before, not a day after, but like, okay, I sorry, I don't want to be crude. I don't mean to be crude. That's definitely not how I want this video to, you know, to come off. But anyways, so, but to be frank, when I was younger, I would have thought that I'd be married by now. I would have thought that I'd be married by like, I don't know, 26 at the latest. And I just thought, for whatever reason, I just thought that finding the one was gonna be a lot easier. Which actually reminds me, so I'm in a community play. I'm in a musical right now at a community theater. And a couple weeks ago we had practice. The choreographer was like working with other people, and I was like standing in the back with like some of the younger people. And I was talking to one of them, and I was saying, I don't remember what I said. I did not say the word boyfriend, but I guess but the kid I was talking to thought I said boyfriend. And he was like, your boyfriend? And I was like, wait, what? I didn't say anything about a boyfriend or whatever. And then this girl who's like, I don't know, like 12 or 11 or something, she just shows up out of the woodwork. She's like the star of the musical. She showed up and was like, you have a boyfriend? And I was like, see, this is how rumors get started. I didn't say anything about a boyfriend. And I was like, no, blah, blah, blah. And then the other kid was like, she is so old and still doesn't have a boyfriend. And the little girl was like, what? Like, why don't you have a boyfriend? Like, girl, spill. And I was like, I can't have this conversation with you adolescents. But I literally wanted to just scream, like, because it's not it's not all fair. It's not like the fairy tales, okay? Dating once you get older, okay? You turn 18, 19, 20, 21, you know, 25, and then all the years, like, they just keep rolling. What do they say? The days are long, but the years are short. Time flies as you get older, man. I mean, I didn't like share all this stuff with them because I was just like, yo, I'm not having this conversation with you guys because how can I begin to explain to you guys that it is just so much harder to meet the one than I would have ever imagined it to be. A lot of men these days like just do like the bare minimum. I'm sorry, let me not generalize, because I know there's gonna be people in the comments, maybe guys in the comments, but so let me not overgeneralize. There are a lot of guys who do the bare minimum, yet expect you to just like give them your body because they bought you dinner. Like, aren't we worth more than a steak? I mean, I don't eat steak because I'm vegan, but you know what I mean? This is kind of just like word vomit. These are just like thoughts that I've been having. So if my thoughts are just all over the place, I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep like hope alive or whatever. I'm kind of in a place, and I think I said it in a video a couple months ago too, that I'm really not like looking anymore. I'm just trying to like focus on other things. Yeah, it's really not something that like I'm going out of my way to like look for anymore. Like, I'm not on the apps, and I already know that I will be back. I'm sure that I'll be back on the apps, you know, unless I meet my person tomorrow. Which reminds me of another thing. If I were to meet my person tomorrow, I still would not be having the jingy until my 30s. So I'm like, it's like kind of, I guess, coming to terms with the fact of like, yeah, I'm not gonna have sex until my 30s. Lord willing, he has a person for me. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know, I just feel like if you have a desire like this, which is a good desire, like we've talked about this before, this is a good desire. This is a God-given desire to be married, okay? To be married and to have children. Those are God-given desires. So it's like, I desire those things. God knows that. But sometimes I just hope that like he hasn't forgotten about me or whatever, because I do want those things. And sometimes I can't help but, and I try not to, but think about, okay, well, I'm getting closer to 30. I'm just so enlightened, guys. And let me just share with you how enlightened I am, and how I don't even care about any of this, and I don't even, you know, I'm not even worried, or I'm not even scared at all. Like, that would just be completely like lies. Because, you know, even though I don't worry about it, I try not to worry about it as much. Growing older, it can be like kind of a scary thing, because it's so different. You know, you always, you know, it's so different, especially like when you're not where you thought you'd be in life, like you know, in certain areas of your life. It can be like really scary. I don't know about y'all, but I've been getting jealous. Like, I get jealous sometimes when I see a cute couple, or like when I see couples like loving, you know, couples who are in like loving relationships and stuff, and they're like getting it on and popping, and they're getting freaky. Sometimes I'm like kind of jealous of them, because like I have those desires, and like it looks like so fun, but at the end of the day, like I have these convictions of like, I want to give this gift, this one opportunity to give this gift to, you know, the one person who's gonna like love me forever and never leave me and stuff. Because I don't know, I just think about all the opportunities that I had, and all the situations that I was, you know, that I thought about it, that I was close, and that this guy I was, you know, had gone on some dates with, or like we were friends. I thought about those things, you know, and like, what if, or like, oh, I want to, you know. Obviously they're gonna be down when it, not all men, but most men are gonna be down to do it, and are gonna want to do it, and are gonna pressure you to do it and stuff like that. But all I know is that all I can do is just thank God that I sit here as a 28-year-old being able to say with complete honesty that I didn't give it to any of them. And I'm just so thankful, because where are any of them now? Not one of them is in my life anymore. Not one. They're pretty much like all strangers, and they've all like, I don't know, moved on, and like they live with their girlfriends, or some of them like got married now. I'm literally like a stranger. Like, we're strangers now, you know what I mean? So all I know is that I cannot give it to someone who I'm not married to. I know that like a lot of marriages don't work out or anything, but all I know is that if I were to be like, okay, like, yeah, I'm 28, or like, oh, I want to lose it before I'm 30, and I'm just so, I don't say like on the prowl, or like I'm just like, oh, the first guy who's just like, you know, I see, you know, who's a guy who's just like really attractive to me or whatever, just being like let's just do it. I just feel like I know what that would do to me on the inside. It would like kill me on the inside, because I've held on to this for so long. I've waited for so long, and I'm gonna keep getting in this California king size, okay? California king size. It was on sale, okay? Don't think that I've got money in the bank, shawty. What you think? A discounted furniture store, and that's where I got that bed. But anyways, I'm gonna keep getting in that bed by myself every single night, except for when my sweet mommy, except for when my mommy comes, and she sleeps with me. But besides that, I'm gonna keep sleeping in my bed with my weighted sloth that I sleep with her on me like a baby. And I'm just gonna keep waiting, because it's gonna be worth it in the end. And I can already see comments being like, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? At the end of the day, literally, I come here and I sleep in peace. I sleep well knowing that I'm standing by my convictions. When I get like discouraged, which I do, honestly, it's one of the reasons why I got rid of my social medias. If you go look in my description box right now, or you go look on my page or whatever, I don't have any social media to link to or try and get people to like follow me or become like Facebook friends with me or something like that. I don't have any of that, for various reasons. I made a video about it, but one reason, it helps to not see these, see polished stories and polished pictures of, you know, people that I don't even really communicate with at all. And it just, you know, what do they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. So I would compare, I'm just keep it 100. Like I compare myself to people a lot, and I would do that a lot when I was scrolling social media, and especially when I see like cute couples and stuff, or like, you know, people getting engaged and, you know, getting married, and then, you know, getting pregnant and having kids and all, you know, all this sort of stuff that obviously like I want, and it's nowhere in sight for me. I just don't need to be reminded of that all the time. You know what I mean? Every time I get on my phone. But then of course, like, you can't escape it, because you go out and you see couples together. And like a few months ago, I was on a bus, and I saw this guy and this girl, and the girl was like on the scooter, and he was like behind her, like helping her with the scooter. And it just, I mean, you know, obviously it was literally just a snapshot. It was like, but I don't know, it was like a movie moment or something. It just looked so perfect, and they looked so perfect. You know what I mean? And sometimes I don't know, maybe people watching this, I don't know if there's people who can relate to me, or if or more people are just like, oh, well, like, oh, I'm happy for strangers. Sometimes I'm happy for strangers, yes, but sometimes I see that, and then inside I'm like, why is it so easy for other people? Or why do other people have that? Or like, those people are younger than me. Why do they have that? And I'm almost 29. And don't. Sometimes I hear women who, you know, are sharing their stories of finding their person and their husbands and stuff like that, and just talking about how like they didn't meet their husband until they were like 29 or like 33 or something like that. And those stories just always encourage me, because it's like, you know, I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm going to speak that it will. I know it doesn't happen for everybody, and even everybody who wants it, I know that it doesn't always happen, but I want marriage. And even though I used to not, I want kids. I want, you know, children of my own someday. And, you know, at the end of the day, I have to trust God. I have to trust that God has me single still for a reason. I just feel like at the end of the day, like everything really is in God's plans, like, you know, and in his hands. Like he sees all the rejection that I experience because I won't break about it, you know. Whether you are a virgin or you have had sex in the past and now you are being abstinent until marriage. The most important thing to do is to not give up hope and to just like have faith, you know what I mean? Because you know what happens when you lose faith? Darkness takes over. Dun, dun, dun. And I don't know, I don't want to make this section like too heavy or anything like that, but like, you know, I might, in a lot of my videos, I might seem like really like bubbly and like, because that's how I mean, I am like that, like a lot of times. That's just like, I don't know, like kind of how I am. But, you know, the people in my life, my family and my close friends, they know that I fight. I fight like the negative, pessimistic things. You can't fight. It's like, I guess imagine you're like walking around on the street and then somebody just shows up and starts like beating you up. But like, you didn't eat anything or drink anything all day. Imagine like how that fight is gonna go. Like imagine who's gonna win. Like who's gonna win that fight? It's probably gonna be them, right? Because you don't have any energy. You don't have anything in you to help you to fight. Versus if you just ate like a really healthy, nutritious meal, you know, and you exercised, and you know what I mean? Like, and then somebody tried to attack you on the street. Then maybe, just maybe, you know, depending on their size, you have a fighting chance. Literally, you have a fighting chance to like win and to be okay and to make it out of there. I say that because like in the same way, it's like you can't fight when you're empty. So you have to fill yourself up with things that are going to help you to fight. I said this in a video before about how like we have to be intentional about what we fill ourselves up with. We need to fill ourselves up with something. We're already being, you know, constantly being filled with negativity and with lies and with, you know, people men telling you that if you don't put out at all, they don't want you. If you put out too much, they don't want you. If you're, you know, over 25, a lot of them say that they don't want us. You know, sometimes you just start to believe the lies. But that's why you can't keep taking that stuff in. That's why when those music videos and, you know, and those pages pop up and stuff like that, you just gotta block them or tell YouTube, don't suggest this, like, you know, like don't suggest this sort of content to me again. You know what I mean? And instead intentionally fill yourself with light. Because I'm not gonna lie, the things that Sexy Red is singing about, a lot of the things that Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, that they're singing about Ariana Grande, about sex and legs wide open. And I'm sorry to be crude, I'm sorry, but these are like what their lyrics are like. It's absolutely it's just so X-rated. Block that stuff. Block that stuff. I know some of them have really good voices. It's so crucial to pay attention to what you're feeding yourself. When they say you are what you eat, I know that they mean that in a literal way, like what you eat, you know, that's how you're gonna look at your body, your physique, all that sort of stuff. It's affected by what you eat, what you consume. And in the same way, so is your life, of what what you are constantly consuming and filling yourself in. What goes in is going to come out, right? The eyes are the window to the soul. And so obviously there's a lot of things that we can't control. Like you turn on your phone or you go out to the world, a song is playing I was at the gym and they were playing this song. It literally had the F word in it. And it was just, I'm like, don't kids come into this gym? Like this is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. Okay? But also there's like things that you can't control, but then there are things that you can control. So at least lately, I know for me, what I've been doing is I've just been intentionally listening to more worship music, you know? And there's just so many different types of like just encouraging, uplifting music and messages and stuff that you just have to feed yourself in order to combat the darkness in this world and the temptations at every turn. And speaking of temptations at every turn, the story that prompted the title of this video, let me go ahead and share this story, okay? So last month when I was in Nebraska, I went to Nebraska to visit one of my best friends for her baby shower. I was there Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, came back on Monday. Saturday night, she and I and her fiance and their friends, we went to a karaoke bar. When we got there, I noticed this guy. I thought that he was really cute. Not usually, I would say not usually my type, but like I said earlier, I'm willing to give anybody of any race a chance. You know, I'm not like, oh, you have to be tall, dark, and handsome. I'm like, you don't even have to be tall. You don't have to be dark. You know what I mean? Like I like it all. You know what I mean? Like I like a range. But anyways, yeah, this was a tall Caucasian man. I thought that he was cute, and he was like really tall, like 6'3". So I went to go sing, and then I went back over to my friends after I sang, and then he like got up from his table and came over to me and was like, excuse me, like I just want to tell you that you did a really good job, and your voice is in like he just like complimented my voice and stuff like that. And then he went back to his table, and then like a little while later he sang. And then when my new friends in Nebraska, because I made like some new friends in Nebraska, one of them was like, he likes you, like he has been looking at you like so much tonight, and he got up from his table, he came over to talk to you and tell you that he liked your voice. And so now you need to go over there and tell him that you liked his voice and that he did a good job, to just kind of like, you know, show him that like I don't like shoot my shot anymore of like being the one to like approach a man and be like, can I get your digits? Like I used to do stuff like I used to do that. And if you do that, like that's perfectly fine. But I don't do that anymore. I feel like I want a man to like approach me. But anyways, but there are things that like a woman should do. Like if the woman is interested in the man, like give him signs of like, oh yes, like, you know, you can approach me, or like, yes, I'm also interested in you. You know what I mean? To kind of like, I don't say meet him halfway, but you know what I mean? So I went over there. I was like, oh, your voice was so good. You did such a good job. And he like stood up and, you know, just like he asked me my name and like introduced himself. And he was like taller than I thought he was. Like he was actually like 6'3" or 6'4". So I was like looking up and talking to him and everything. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not from around these parts. So yeah, so like he asked for my number, so I gave it to him, and then like we like hugged before I went back over to my friends. So then my friends and I left, and then like as soon as like we left the bar, the door flung open, because like we were standing outside for a little bit. The door flung open, and he came running out to give me a rose. Like somebody had come in and was selling like these roses that light up. And he ran out the door and like gave it to me. It was like, for a beautiful lady. And I was just, I don't know if I like really blush. Do black people blush? If I could blush, I would have been blushing, because like people were standing right there, and I was just like, you know, he already like asked for my number and stuff and was like forward and everything. But the fact that he like came chasing out of the bar to give me a rose, that was like, oh my gosh. So I was in town for one more day. He asked me if I wanted to like go on a date. So I was like, okay, I'm in town for one more day. And my friend was like, you should absolutely go. We will drop you off and we will lurk around the area, and like, just why not go on a date? Like, so we went to go get coffee on Sunday, the last day that I was there. And you know, we were like talking, get to know each other and stuff like that. And he like, oh no, he was just like finding like ways to touch me. You know, it's a little suspect. What does he want? What is he expecting? It was a beautiful day outside, so a little nippy. So then we walked around like the city and stuff, and just like talked, and he wanted to like hold my hand. So I was like, okay, I feel like holding hands is like G-rated. That's in like G-rated movies, right? Yes, I waterfall with my own water bottle, because I don't want to get chapstick on it. lip gloss on it. My lip gloss is popping. She not really anymore. Anyways, so we're like walking and stuff like that, and he was like asking if I wanted to come to his apartment. Now, what do you think he wanted to do at his apartment? I was like, that's way too fast. He was like, I know. He was like, yeah, I totally understand, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, this has been I've had a lovely time with you. But it's my last night here. It's my last day here. I want to like go back with my friend and stuff. So we departed, and he texted me that night and everything. And then the next morning he was off work, and I had a lot of time to kill before going to the airport. So he wanted to get together. Obviously he wanted to get up to no good. I was tempted. I'm not gonna lie. I'm human. You know what I mean? And of course I think I was thinking those things in my brain of like, what if? But I was really like, no, you'll just regret it. Like, don't go over there. Just stay away. Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. So I just went to sleep. Yeah, and then the next morning, he wanted to like get together before my flight. I said Uber in the title, but I actually use Lyft. I feel like most people know what Uber is, and maybe not everybody knows what Lyft is, because Lyft is not as in many other countries as Uber is, but so it's pretty much like Uber. So I'll just call it Uber. Uber driver like took me to this souvenir shop so I get some souvenirs, and then I got the souvenirs and I still had hours to kill before the flight. And he was like texting me and stuff like that. And so I just sat on the bench in the sun, and I was like, I'm here for a few more hours. God. I'm not even gonna say, God, what should I do? Because the answer is obvious. Like, run! Run! Flee from temptation. Run the opposite direction. Do not go over to that man's apartment. Do not go over there. Nothing good will come from that. You will regret it. You will regret it. I'm proud to say, yeah, I sat on a bench out in the sun, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to the airport early. So, swiped away his messages, got on the Lyft or Uber app, called the Uber. Uber comes, big SUV, nice. Put my suitcase in. I get in the SUV, super clean. Driver, so warm. He's like talking to me, I'm talking to him. I'm like, where are you from? He's from, I think he's from Cameroon. He's from Africa. And he's like, where are you from? And I told him like where I was from. And he was like, I drive, like I've driven there. And he was giving me in great detail directions from how to drive to Nebraska, from Nebraska to my state, which is very far away. And I was like, how do you know that? He was like, oh, I have a trucking company. And yeah, he was like, I've had all these businesses and stuff. And he was like, people think that because I drive Uber that I like must not have money. That's what he said. Okay. I don't necessarily think that about, I don't know why people are driving Uber, but that is, maybe people might think that like if somebody's driving Uber, it's to make some cash and stuff like that. And so then he's driving to the airport, and he's talking to me about all his stuff, about his businesses and his life and everything like that. And then we got to the airport, and he parked, so then he logs into his Wells Fargo app. He's like, starts logging into his Wells Fargo app. Shows it to me, like how much money he had in his account. A lot of money, more money than I've ever seen. But of course in my mind, like, you shouldn't be showing why are you showing a complete stranger your bank account? Anyways, but no, it's fine. So like I was like listening to him like the whole time on the drive, which I've said this before in the past videos. Like I just try to be nice to people, okay? I really do. And it's actually just like, it's so simple. Like it's so easy to be nice to people, especially when they're nice to you. I'm not gonna lie. If somebody's being like rude to me, sometimes I end up like kind of following their energy. No cap, no lie. But like when people just like want someone to talk to or whatever, I've always just been someone who's just happy to be that person. And I'm just like listening, just like, I don't know, asking follow-up questions or whatever, you know what I mean? and just listening. Sometimes that's what people need. So I'm ready to get out of the Uber to go to the airport, and I look up at the driver. He's pulling out his wallet and pulling cash out of his wallet. I'm like, why is he doing that? And then he turns around and starts like, he's about to give me a wad of cash. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. Hold your horses, my man. What are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? He was like, oh, I just want to give you some money. I was like, what? He was like, I actually want to give you more than this, but this is all I have in my wallet. And then he was like, what time is your flight? I was a little hesitant to tell him because I'm like, I don't know. You got to be vigilant. My coworkers always says, she's always like, be vigilant. And when we leave for if we have a meeting at night, she's like peeping through the blinds. I'm like, we work in a nice area, but she's like peeping through the blinds, and she's like, we have to be vigilant. So I take, I try and listen to her and be more vigilant, because she's right. Because sometimes I can be kind of aloof, and it's nothing but the grace of God that has protected me in some situations where I was just head in the clouds. So anyways, but I did have some street smarts, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't want to give him too much information. So I was like, he was like, well, does your flight leave soon? It actually didn't leave for 3 hours. I was getting to the airport really, really early, especially in a small town like the town we were in Nebraska. You didn't have to get to the airport that early because going through TSA took literally 2 minutes. There was nobody in line, and they were also the nicest TSA agents I've ever seen. But anyways, I was like, no, I'm fleeing temptation. I'm going to the airport early, 3 hours early to the exact. And so I ended up telling him, I was like, oh yeah, my flight is at this time. He was like, you're at the airport really, really early. I was like, yeah, everybody keeps telling me that. And he was like, if you feel comfortable. And I was like, why do you want to give me $200? I just feel led to give you $200. He was like, you literally have so much time till your flight. Now, somebody watching this might be like, oh, okay, Miriam, you should have jumped out of the... You should have jumped out the Uber. I like to think that I have a good read on people. And he seemed very genuine. I didn't get kidnap vibes. I didn't get kidnappy vibes for him. So I was like, why do you want to give me $200? He was like, I feel led to give you $200. So are you good? Can we go to Wells Fargo? So, I mean, what would you have said? I mean, what was I supposed to say? What was I supposed to say? No. I mean, I could have said no. And I could have got out of the Uber and just gone to the airport. But I was like, okay. So we left the airport, and he drove 15 minutes to Wells Fargo and went through the drive-through thing, took out $200, drove back to the airport, and we were talking and stuff, and he gives me a wad. Yes, I still have it. Anyways, so that was the story of what happened with my most recent date. He wanted to hook up and do the jinky. Granted, I didn't tell him I was a virgin. I didn't tell him. I know people say to not tell guys, on your date that you're a virgin, because it could be dangerous. Listen to them. They could be right. But then it's also kind of challenging, because it's kind of hard to not disclose that at some point, right? Maybe I share that information too early, because I'm kind of just I don't want to waste his time. I don't want to waste my time. If that's what you want and that's what you're expecting, then just so you know, you're not going to get that from me. So you could just dip now. We don't need to waste any time together. You don't need to get my hopes up, and I don't need to get close to you, because I'm not going to give you that. So you're going to be, you know what I mean? So they can kind of do with that information what they want. So yes, I possibly share it too soon. I don't know. Comment down below your thoughts about that, or like your experiences, especially like, you know, if you're waiting, or if you waited, like when did you tell a guy, or if you're a guy, when did you tell a woman that you are waiting till marriage? And, you know, at what point in the dating, like as soon as you met them, or on the first date, after a few dates? Like, I don't usually get to a few dates because they seem to be alluding to sex sooner than that, and I'm like, it's not gonna happen, or I just run away or they ghost me, or I ghost them and I get in an Uber, and then the Uber driver gives me $200. Anyway, so I guess words of encouragement. If you are waiting, please follow your convictions and your morals and your values. Don't let anyone talk you out of them. Just don't make rash decisions or anything based on, you know, based on like temporary feelings, temporary desires, you know, hot and heavy in the moment or whatever. Remind yourself why you wait. Get quotes, get scriptures, get whatever. Stick it on your mirror, stick it on your door, stick it on top of your bed. Make it your screensaver on your phone, wherever you're gonna see it consistently, wherever you're gonna see it daily. Make sure that you are intentionally feeding yourself content that is going to help you in this journey, that's going to fill you with light and hope and purpose, rather than lust. And all these songs glorifying sex outside of marriage. Just limit that sort of content from your ears and from your brain and from your eyes and from your heart. If you made it to the end, I am so appreciative of you. If you have any questions or anything, or you know, if you just want to share your experience, I would genuinely love to read it and to talk with you in the comments. I mean, to talk with you in the comments and have a conversation. And I know that it would benefit other people too. So please do share your story down below. Share your thoughts and your opinions about anything that I said in this video. And if you want me to make more content like this, I would love to make more videos like this. I definitely plan to make a video like at least every year as like an update, you know, an update, because like last year was like, oh, I was 27 and a virgin. And I'm 28 and I'm, you know. I'm still here. But by the grace of God. But yeah, I can definitely make more content like this. If anyone's interested, please let me know. You can comment down below or shoot me an email as always. My email's in the description box. All right, so stay unique, stay beautiful, and don't forget to be kind to yourself. Okay.
Goodbye.